this set will go to whoever has the longest, the highest longevity, whoever has the highest endurance. Grand final sets are very hard to play.
The players are generally the most worn out they will be during the entire tournament. This is the most difficult match for both of them as well, as you've literally weeded out everybody possible. You've got like the cream of the crop at the top of the throne.
Yeah, I mean, just getting into top 3, by the time you get to top 3, you're already exhausted. You've already played, unless it's a tiny tournament, you've already played at least like 5 people. And by the time you get to Grands, you've already played whoever is in Grands, and you've played, more than likely, and you've played Losers Finals. So you've just played at least one best of 5. Now you have to play almost a first to 10. You have to play at least
first to 10s, let's go.
First to 10s are great. I mean, you have to win 6 games in a row to win from losers. One of the hardest things to do, even if you're the best player in the world. And I mean, sitting in winner side Grands is a huge advantage. Because you have all this time where you can play a different character, or you can play one of your offsets and throw 3 games and get a read on your opponent, and then adapt for the last 3 games.
And that's something we might see from Replicant again. We saw that at least in the winners finals,
yeah,
where he just got the read. That name does not fit in there.
Oh, going Birdchuck Hopper, that we've not seen him yet. This is going to be very, very good for out-poking his Dragon Triblast. Birdchuck is going to deal with both Triblast and Dragon. And Popper is going to box out Triblast in neutral. It's also going to allow him to poke through Ripha's commitments with Dragon.
Yeah, that's actually a really good loadout to start with. I can see this doing some pretty good stuff, and we're already seeing that with Replicant having a slight health lead.
He doesn't have Rush yet, and it doesn't matter.
Doesn't need it, he's just gonna punish that Rush attempt.
Yeah, I mean, if you know your character well enough, you should be able to get out of most rushes. Lolopop's definitely a character that is great for rush evasion.
Oh!
Rush evasion. Ripha showing off his character knowledge, saying, "Rep, you can't do that."
He's just gonna go right around all of that, gets a free grab as a reward.
Yeah.
Both players handling this match very well. Replicant still holding onto a slight lead, but you can definitely tell, like, both of these players really understand this matchup right here. They've done it a lot.
Yeah, I imagine they have played a lot. 330 knocking Ripha into character.
And that is going to be an explosion, taking Replicant down. First round going to Ripha.
And that is what we call commentary. As soon as I said the word one hit, you got it.
Well, sometimes happens. Sometimes doesn't. This is the case.
Replicant was really out poking Ripha's set there, though. Ripha obviously recognized that, switching to Salamander instead of Dragon, a much safer, lower commitment arm. Allows him to do the same win stuff that Replicant is going to do if he gets that charge popper. But almost even lower commitment.
This next round going in, the Salamander helping out pretty solidly is not going to help in landing a solid rush, though. Gets a lot of chip damage. But Replicant ready with another rush just as he gets knocked down. And is now looking to land it. Is able to just catch a good read. Lands 245 damage on the rush.
There's 2 rushes from Replicant this round.
He started with one, and he was able to quickly charge up another one as Ripha was building up his first rush.
Ripha already almost to the second rush, though. Looking, he might get a rush confirmed to kill here. If he's able to get another one of those Slam Raiders. However, Ripha says, "I ain't gonna let you get."
Replicant able to get that freeze. Ripha just trying to close the distance.
Oh, that was a confirm. That was a free confirm. He fell right on top.
But he might be able to just keep that rush. He's going to choose to use it. Ends up getting caught. I think he still has about 5, might have a slight frame more health.
Yeah, I think he has exactly a pixel.
He does!
Yep. Replicant chose not to go in just enough. Chose not to commit just enough that Ripha got the win there. If he committed just a little bit more, he would have been at more risk, but he could have sealed that up. Actually, he was just too far away too to kill confirm off.
That was so close.
That was such a close 2-round win from Ripha. I mean, that was insane. It feels like we just watched like 4 rounds. I mean, there's 2. Both were also almost a time, I think.
Oh yeah, no, that was within the last few moments.
Yeah, both times.
Well, the first one was a timeout. Wait, no, was it? No, it wasn't. Was it?
No, it wasn't. It was very close to timeout. So. All right. Game 2. What stage are we going to?
The DNA lab.
Dan's laboratory.
Dan's labo.
Now, I wonder if Dan ever gets mad at us test tubes.
I mean, they're just labo kits. He just needs to. They're easy to fix up again.
They're just cardboard.
They're just cardboard. Well, actually,
How
no.
do you get all that water in that?
Actually, no. So what's happening is the base is actually the labo, and it's another Nintendo created device that creates the illusion of a tube, but the illusion is so strong that it can block a few attacks.
That's crazy.
That's why it's Dan's labo. Dan is just that good with labo.
Switching off of Birdchuck, I feel like, is a huge mistake here. Huge oversight, but and also switching off Popper. Why switch when that was working? But maybe he feels like that works better for the stage.
He's proven us wrong before, though, numerous times. So this could potentially work. I'm gonna trust him. As a teammate of his, I will trust his instinct.
I am a little skeptical. I mean, it's not about half health disadvantage right now. Also, at a full rush disadvantage, you won't get rushed for 2 or 3 more hits here.
But Ripha isn't going to be using his until just this moment. Replicant now has his rush. Does have a huge health deficit though.
Yeah, as soon as Ripha sees a commitment, he's like, okay, I can. And I mean, most players don't realize, but even Tri-Bolt, you can punish them with rush if you play your cards right.
If you understand the interaction and how to work with them, you can definitely get a really nice rush off of those.
For sure.
Oh.
Ripha keeps putting on this ample shield pressure, and
is going to take away Replicant's rush.
Supreme. Yeah, the dragon placement was really supreme. Put it up at a point that he could curve it.
Literally just punched right into. He got the dragon to punch. It didn't even shoot laser. It just punched Replicant in the face. Like, it's not the best boxing tool at close range, but it does have some capabilities.
It definitely. It also. It will just cancel immediately in that instance.
Replicant trying to find an opportunity to bring this back is going to miss the rush. Just narrowly dodges getting caught by that charged Tri-Blast. Does get a freeze though.
That rush wasn't a bad idea. He did it too late. So he reacted to Tri-Blast, the commitment of Tri-Blast from Ripha, but he did not do it early. Also, in that situation, sometimes Lola is just put at a point where she has to decide, okay, am I going to take the grab, or am I going to super jump or dash out? and you can follow her super jump and super dash if she doesn't decide to throw out an arm. Which in situations where you're sitting on top of her with rush, she just can't. So once Replicant picked that option, there's nothing.
Can we take a moment to just notice the fact that he used his rush. Ripha just turned around with that big super dash and was able just to capitalize it so hard.
Yeah, I mean, if you have rush, I know Lola super dashes in your out of the corner trying to rush her, you can just rush her. So long as you dash or shield to turn your camera towards them, it's free because there's so much lag at the end of it.
That movement, the slight turn he had at the end, that was like elegant. That was a dance.
All right, what stage are we going to for game 3?
Let's see. We are going to be going to the Mausoleum.
Mazo, not a bad stage for either. What Replicant is going to be choosing here?
I believe both players are going to be sticking with their characters.
Right on.
If Ripha is able to take this will be the bracket reset.
Yeah. It will definitely be the bracket reset if Ripha takes this game, which could be setting Replicant up to get 6-0, which is something you need to do. Always feels bad every time.
Unless you're good friends with them and you're having a blast.
Yeah, well, I guess it's different for everybody.
I know there's been cases where something similar to that has happened to me and I've been really upset with it. And then other cases where it's happened, something on those lines happened, and it's like, I was having fun anyways, so...
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've been 10-0'd before, and the first 10, and that always feels bad.
Oh, yeah. Starting off, we got Ripha going in with no tribe last year. Ice Dragon and Slamamander.
This is a very similar set to what Iceman was at the end of Ripha and Iceman set, with Popper being there instead of Ursha.
Yes.
But the Parabola was working very well against Iceman, especially against Ninjara. You can't properly shield Parabola because it will go through him and continue to track him like Guardian does.
That was some really good responses from both players.
For sure.
Replicant going to come out on top out of that interaction though, just barely, and now is looking for a couple more hits to take Ripha down. Now a stun confirm can take him out. Ripha can definitely just go for a grab here though.
Yeah. Replicant choosing to back off, playing his cards a little. Does get that 80 damage. I think one more popper will kill. Could be wrong. It could need 2 uncharged poppers.
An uncharged hit, and now both players are at the final frame of health. Not gonna get through that shield. And Ripha has enough health, is just gonna try to force the timeout and gets a good punish on it.
Replicant played incredibly well there until beat. He just didn't put on proper pressure. Stayed too far away, a little too afraid of that rush. I mean, to lose the opposite, you have to take risks. And I think we're seeing Replicant's hesitant nature here coming through and losing him rounds.
It can be really hard to be on top of things, especially against a player like Ripha, though. He's just...
That's true.
He is a very scary opponent to play against.
He definitely dominates neutral very strong pressure. But speaking of strong pressure and dominant neutral, Replicant been on top this whole round. Now, that was the case last time, and Ripha did make a full comeback, almost reverse perfect. So we might see that again.
Could this be foretelling of the download that I was talking about before, though? Rep
is getting a little bit of download here. And fantastic rush. not getting the popper at all. It's a real big problem with Boomerang Rush, is it brings you too far up to get hit, to get both hits of your rush. So you have to rush very carefully.
Does get one more uncharged poke in there though, and now is looking to possibly claim the first round. Maybe he's going to be able to find a way to make sure that Ripha doesn't get that bracket reset. And
yeah, he could be looking for that reverse 3-0 that he did to Iceman. I mean, we did see it happen already in bracket. He could really want that $15.
I mean, who doesn't want $15?
I mean, hey, that's like a whole meal at Subway. And I know that they at least have like Burger King in the UK, and that's like a whole Whopper.
Oh,
that's a whole Whopper meal.
I haven't been to Burger King for a while.
My girlfriend hates it, so we don't ever get it.
Not everything's for everyone.
Yeah. Replicant's hitting another really strong.
$15 can get you a meat tier or a meal. Perfect.
Yeah, $15 is enough for a meal in most places.
Oh, gets a bit of chip damage and ends up taking away the rush of Ripha.
Ripha got really greedy there. Thought he got out and just wasn't accounting for popper enough. Gets hit and Replicant denies him the 3-0.
That was a vicious exchange over there. Hang on, I'm gonna.
That was clip-worthy for sure.
I just need to fix the blinds because now the sun in my face. My setup stopped being good for.
He could buy Hollow Knight for 15.
He could buy Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight would be a fabulous option.
I think he could also buy Celeste, and I think Celeste might be sovereign.
Ooh, Celeste would also be a good pick. I still haven't played Celeste.
I have not either, but I found out the composer of Celeste friends with one of my favorite bands, Japanese Breakfast.
Nice!
So we have more reason to want to play it.
There's a lot of games out there that I really want to get my hands on. I still haven't played Breath of the Wild because I'm a total scrub.
Oh yeah, Breath of the Wild's pretty fun. It's
Ooh.
It's a little overrated.
It's a good game. I am aware of a lot of the caveats.
Yeah. It's a good game, and you like speedrunning. It'd be pretty fun to learn to speedrun.
Oh yeah. Yes,
Yada is all the goofy stuff you get to do.
Yada is not in finals.
He was unfortunately not able to come to this tournament.
Big celebration. Whoa! I mean, he's definitely. Can we get Stylo a bit louder?
A bit louder? Yeah, actually.
Oh, I was gonna turn you up. You could do that too, I guess.
Mic a little closer. I try not to speak very loud, especially because my roommates are asleep. So I've just been near.
I mean, I could just turn you up here.
I mean, you can do both.
All right.
We can do both. Okay. Via Dolce, interesting pick from Iceman. Also going Dragon Via, which is an underrated option. I feel like most Dragon users feel like the arm can't work. Via, a Dart remix especially, is a big naysayer of Dragon on small stages, but it's very good at limiting your opponent's options.
I turned you up a little bit too.
Okay, thank you. When they already have less options, less places to go in terms of like a stage like Via Dolce, Dragon is very powerful.
It can work super well here.
We're already seeing a much more even game. Several rounds. Replicant still staying on top. These ice chains from these ice confirms and ice chains from him have been very powerful though. He's been getting something off of every cool.
And that just, even if he's not getting more than like 1 or 2 hits off a freeze, that still adds up to so much if he's just getting them over and over and over again.
A little greedy from Rep there to try and go for regular air dash so close to his opponent. I mean, it's a little less, but it gives you almost no defense. So it's very easy to hit if Ripha knows what to look for.
Ripha trying to hold things out for another 5 seconds, as he has a pretty predominant health lead.
Very greedy grab there as well. Replicant's play here at the last several seconds, whenever he's about to lose the round, just really confused me. He's making these hard reads, but he's not going in and committing enough to make them effective.
The last 10 seconds of a round, when you're at a deficit, are always really pressuring. That's actually a unique moment of play that most players aren't actually used to. A lot of players aren't capable of handling themselves very well at that point, because I will admit, even I, just like, it gets to a point where you just start desperately flailing around trying to find some opportunity to get something to work.
Yeah, you definitely, that's just not going to break. You know, I don't think he punched enough.
Maybe if he went for 2 slaps.
Yeah, if he would have got the finishing hit on the second time around, I think that would have broke. Replicant looking to take round 2. He needs one more hit and is sitting on rush. If he can hold on to this rush round, that'll be huge.
That will be really helpful for him.
Yeah. Very, very instrumental for him taking this game. Fortunately, has to use it there. He felt like he committed too much, or just that he didn't want to let Ripha get his rush before the next round.
Does get a final hit in though, but was really close to potentially just getting rushed down by Ripha if he could have found a window himself.
Yeah, that would have been. That was about 1 or 2. Popper is pretty safe, so it allows Replicant to press a few more buttons than he probably should when Ripha has rush. But Ripha's pressure is immaculate here. He knows exactly how to pressure Ripha from super dashing away from him.
It's hard to see a Ninjara pressuring because the only pressure that it's stuck a confirm. He just landed an explosion confirm and now is looking to finish Replicant off with just a few more hits.
Replicant does have rush, so goes a little too immediately after he got it.
Does get a shield catch though, 165 damage off of that.
Yeah, he's going to need to play pretty mad.
He is though. He's really close to being able to take Ripha down, but Ripha is just pressuring. He's just trying to bait things out. You can see he's setting himself up to be very reactive and just find those good moments to go in there and get that damage.
Replicant doesn't look like he's been pressing a lot of buttons. And that's another.
There it is.
That was a perfect rush bait. I mean, Replicant had to shield and Ripha. No, switch the names there. Don't blame me. They both got R's in them. Ripha had to shield, and Replicant knew just how to hit him out of that. He's been playing now enough games against this Ninjara that he's like, okay, if I put rush in your shield, here's how I can hit you.
That's especially since Ninjara isn't as prominent in NA. That's something that a lot of players that I know generally don't understand, or it's something they still struggle with to a massive degree, where a Ninjara just throws up a shield, you're like, I don't know how to respond to this. Because I talked to Ripha a little bit ago, and he talked about how, like, a lot of how Ninjara's shield works is, like, it feels like there might be some control, but overall, Ninjara's shield is fairly random in how it works and how it moves. But there's still ways that you can kind of coerce it into, or as the opponent trying to deal with it, you can kind of coerce the shield into moving however you want.
Right.
And you can force situations where it's like the shield literally does nothing.
Yeah. Ripha needs one more game of bracket reset. But Replicant needs one more game to win.
And we're going to be moving straight back into Vio Dolce. This is going to be the one. This is either a bracket reset or this closes it off.
Yeah, Popper, Coolering, very, very strong here. Actually, I think I used to chill out back for Birdchuck. Birdchuck was really, really working for him earlier. And I feel like having that as a fallback option would be smart.
Yo, I just noticed there's an audience in the windows and everything on the upper floor.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've never noticed that.
Such a loving and adoring crowd.
Put a lot of love into these stages.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so adorable. There's so many just cute little things that you could do. Back onto the fight though, both players holding about even. Ripha in a bit of the lead with the ground control, but Replicant is going to be able to push Ripha back and gets a freeze.
Oh, that was almost a really good grab. Very ambiguous option because he was hiding himself behind the corner of Via there. Really good shield from Replicant's part. From Replicant's part. Just barely reacts to Dragon Laser time.
Gets another blast. Replicant going to take advantage of that charge state of the Tri-Blast and is able to knock Ripha down with his own arm. Tries to go for a confirm, reads the wrong direction.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate. He committed way too hard to the complete opposite direction from where Ripha went. He isn't going to die from this, but does have a mountain to climb.
It's not... It is actually a massive mountain because we've got 7 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
At this point, it's clear both players just kind of want to go for rush.
Yep.
And are going to finish at about the same rush level.
Yeah, Ripha just slightly above him. And there was not a lot Replicant could have done there. I mean, he could have got... If he played immaculately, if he played perfectly, he could have brought all that health down. Oh, yeah, well, the shield just too big. He reacted to the grab a little too late. There's not a lot he could do about that.
That is actually an interesting point about Lollipop too, is the fact that when she chooses to shield, it actually makes her a bigger target. So if an opponent's going for a grab,
yeah.
but as soon as she releases, then all of a sudden she's a much smaller target again.
Yeah, when you're trying to grab her, when she shields like right there, he's made himself a way bigger target that grab landed earlier. He actually had less time to react. So whenever I get frozen with Lola, I try and shield at the last possible second.
Well, that's definitely what he did too, but he just went for an unfortunate read.
He shielded a little too early. But yeah, no, I know. He definitely had that intention too. Now Replicant is sitting on top of Rush. There's 40 seconds left, and he's one hit away from death. He could bring this back. We've seen it before.
But there's
in this set.
There is a high chance that this is going to be a bracket reset. Ripha getting one more hit in there.
And he chose to dash the super dash away and ended up getting hit by Tri-Blast for it. Super dash is just a little too reactable to be doing close quarters without covering it with another option. It was clear he wanted to rush bait Ripha, but Ripha's just a little too safe to do that too consistently.
Ripha's just too safe to do anything against, like, half the time. Ninjara is just such a safe character.
Yep, so we have another potential. That was game 5, right?
That was game 5.
Yep, so we could be seeing a 10-game grand finals if going this way. For Replicant, I would say definitely try that Birdchuck again. Definitely take off Chilla. I feel like the time that he pulled Chilla out so far, it just didn't work for him. But Birdchuck was definitely a really strong option. Birdchuck Popper, very strong. Very nice. For Ripha, smaller stages seem to benefit him more against Replicant. So maybe start picking stages like Swarring for the second set. And leave those bigger stages off the table because the bigger stages are the stages he was.
All right.
What do you think?
Let's see. No, that's some sounds strategy. It's also hard to say because Ripha literally both players could literally do well on any stage.
That's true. They're both fantastic players.
They're so adaptable. Replicant's demonstrated time and time again that he can just change. It's might not always be on a dime, but he can change his approach to a massive degree and just have an entirely new approach. Like,
yeah.
He just got he in his fight against Iceman, he was like, "You don't grab." So he just sat there and shielded until Iceman was like, "This isn't working," and he paused in hesitation because he's kind of thinking of going for a grab, but he wanted to go for another punch. So he just slowly slowed down his pattern of punches until Replicant was like, "You've slowed down enough. Now I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna punish you." And then Ripha just, his character is literally designed for him just to be able to flip things over at the blink of an eye.
We saw a lot of paradigm shifting on Ripha's part at the last game, the last 2 games. He did a lot of like walking up slowly and doing nothing and just seeing what Replicant would do. The Replicant was getting too impatient at the end. And started committing too much.
It's so intimidating too because you're like, he's just walking. What do I do? Like, you can be like,
he's just walking there, menacingly.
It's like, it's a scary thing in any fighting game when it actually happens because you're like, you're so used to seeing them move around and set things up and you're trying to get these reads, but they're like, they're not giving you anything. So your best thought is like, well, I guess I could just try to go for something unexpected. But then they can be like, well, I'm expecting you to try to do something unexpected, so it's going to be an easy punish.
Right. Ripha going to Master Mummy.
Speaking of unexpected,
for game one of the reset, going Retorture Scorpio and Ripha switching to Roaster Seeking.
I love this. This is beautiful. Look at this art.
A really interesting choice from Ripha. I mean, he is guaranteed money, so why not try some things out, right?
Yeah. Retorture and Scorpion, or Nibbles as I like to call them, they're both actually really good arms. Maybe not always in certain circumstances. It's hard for me to say in regards to this situation as I'm not experienced in either of these arms enough to say, but they are really good arms, and if you know how to use them well, you can make some serious work. They are very complicated arms to use well though, so anybody who's able to do what we're seeing right here is just, you bow before him.
That Ziki really exploded just outside of range to hit Ripha out of that rush. And here we're going to see nothing off of that really high damage rush from it.
That Seeking looked like it should have landed, but it just looked right underneath Master Mummy's legs.
Yeah, there we go though. Seeking finally getting shocked. Just in time for Ripha to get his next rush. So we're going to have to see Replicant be very, very careful, which is something that he's not been doing. Not committing to anyway. He's either been too overcommittal or too hesitant.
There's a good block.
Switching between the two. He tried to get out of there too early. Very, very, very fatal mistake. Also tried to get a block where he really couldn't.
Ripha going for the timeout. He owes himself just over 25% health, so now he's nice and healthy again. Feeling nice and fresh. Moving on to this next round, Ripha is going to go in with the hot loadout. Retorture Dragon.
Retorture is an interesting choice because it is not a very good arm, but it is very good at cutting through medium arm boxing gloves, punching through arms, gloves. My brain is shutting down.
That's okay. Retorture is it's one of those arms that are, it's one of the rare arms in which case it's like, it's really good, but it's also really bad at the same time. It's amazing, but there's so many cases where it will just flubber and just flop, and it just feels bad.
It's a very niche arm. Like, theoretically, it should be good, but I find it really only works on the biggest arms in the game.
Yeah, it requires very specific things to usually do well. Ripha slowing down the pace, utilizing the shield to heal things up, so he could probably take another hit again. A nice armored hit.
Yeah, he could definitely take an uncharged hit.
And he does, and he's still kicking, all thanks to his shield. Not many Master Mummies actually take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Replicant shield definitely was looking a little spicy. Switching out for Torture, I think is a smart call here.
This loadout, I can see this working out well. Replicant sticking with a really good loadout here. Doesn't get the confirm.
Yeah, while Scorpio is rounded, it's a straight, more or less, or it's a weird curve that kind of dominates the frontal plane that a lot of arms like Triblast.
Oh!
But while aerial, it is that amazing curving arm. Ooh.
That was
really spicy Siki grab.
That was just a really spicy moment there. Replicant getting a couple of nice stuns, just denying that rush. And then just following up with another Siki. Heavies do not like that Siki. That thing just walls out so many options from them. I think Replicant is set to get a perfect here.
Yeah, if he can maintain this, or just as we say that commentators perfect goes away.
If only he had Master Mummy shields too. He too could heal and get that perfect. Just want to shout out Bitmap for sending us a host of 45 viewers. I'm also noticing a lot of you in chat might not be very experienced in ARMS and the way that it plays.
Yeah, I think they're coming over from Blaze, from Lethal League Blaze.
Yes. So,
welcome to the stream.
Just want to say hello to you all. Hi, I'm Aleve.
I'm Stylo Ren.
We are ARMS people. We do ARMS things.
I'm ARMS guy.
I am ARMS girl. So we're gonna take advantage of this brief moment that we have. Let's talk about ARMS. What is ARMS for us? So generally, ARMS is a 3D fighting game, but in this one, a lot of fighting games generally are well known for their combos, their setups, their follow-ups. ARMS is very heavily neutral game. You get a hit in, it changes the neutral a little bit, your opponent gets up, and then you try to play neutral again. And
it's very neutral heavy, but it's also very focused on wake-up pressure. Top level play sees a lot of wake-up pressure heavy characters like Max Brass, and sets that do well with that, like Askew's double roaster set, because Okizemi is very, very strong in ARMS. You have a lot of options to cover your opponent's wake up.
And generally how you kind of go about these fights is you've got these things called ARMS. Now, I'm just flipping through my selection of characters here, but you'll notice each of them has kind of different layouts or different loadouts or weaponry. But you'll notice a couple of them have similar weapons here, and that's because the arms are customizable. So, how ARMS kind of works is, I would probably say, like, a very light example. Think Smash Brothers 4 and its customs, but actually balanced.
Yeah.
So,
well, because every arm was like made to be played with on because every arm has a character that it goes to. So,
but
they were carefully balanced for those, but they also work well with other characters.
Yeah. So, when you select a character, the character is actually just movement. When
Yeah,
you
it's movement and ability.
yeah, and then the arms you equipped, those are your attacks. You get a couple of different ways to attack. You got your boxing with your gloves, for example, popper, so on and so forth. And it's just, yeah, a lot of it is just moving around, trying to get around your opponent's attacks, getting good reads, especially when you've knocked an opponent down, and just, yeah, you're able to take things pretty quickly there.
It's very interesting, and there's a lot of really pressure. Other fighting games, there's a lot of potential with certain arm loadouts to jail your opponent and to keep them in block for several interactions. Like if you have an explosion arm, you can put explosion on their block, and then it jails them and locks them into block stun, and you can get mix-ups from there. So you can force like 50-50 in those interactions, and you can also force people to block on wake up and then force 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of really interesting things you can do.
The diversity among all player ranks. I don't know what you mean necessarily by that, but like if you by that you mean like how they're so like in arms. There are obviously tier lists. Everybody know, or anybody who plays arms to a solid degree understands which characters are generally the strong ones, which ones are generally not so strong. But arms is balanced enough in a way that you can actually. You see the Snake Man? You think he's hot? Well, he is. But you could also play competitively with him. You see this robot guy and his cute doggo? You think this is adorable and precious? They can play. They can hold up against anybody, and in certain cases, they can win. A lot of it depends on the player and how they play.
Yeah, the game's really well balanced. It has a balance compare with like Vampire State. It's got a small roster, and everybody is viable. Even the worst character who somehow they made wrong and lacks options, like Masongo, just doesn't have all the options the rest of the cast has sometimes. He is still competitively viable. He's still a functional character. Where did Replicant go?
He's just charging up. We're just rolling with it. So while we wait for him to finish up, did you want to do a quick we're not going to do a too serious of a match. It's kind of going to be showcase some of the movement and things that we can be doing. And while we're doing this, let's more properly introduce ourselves. So in the ARMS community, I'm Malieve. I am a Mechanica main and one of North America's strongest Mechanica players.
I'm Stylo Ren. I'm a top mobile pop. I'm one of 5 that actually play the game. Most everybody else dropped Lola because she's very hard. But I play the St. Louis scene, and I am one of the few ARMS players that actually have a local.
On the note of a local, ARMS, I'm actually starting up a local of my own, hopefully pretty soon. We'll be starting one up. ARMS is actually a pretty niche scene right now, without too many locals. STL, as Stella just said, is one of the most prominent ones. There's a California area that
they haven't been meeting up recently.
Yeah, Buster's he's got life.
Yep.
There's also a group in Texas that's going on right now. Generally, the ARMS scene is pretty light and sparse, but we're looking to get things to grow, get things to shine, get a little bit more going on with us.
Yeah. The other big thing to note about ARMS is that it's got weight differences. So, like, the ARMS that Malieve has on right now are light ARMS. They're very fast, but they don't do that much damage. And they can be knocked down by any arm that is a higher weight class, or they clash with other light arms. I'm playing a medium arm, which is the boxing glove I have on, and a heavy arm. So basically, she has to rely on getting hits when I overcommit. Otherwise, I can react to her hits and call them.
Yeah, as you can see, like, both of its arms are generally heavier, So whenever he punches through them, my arms just don't connect. But a trick that the light arms tend to have is you'll notice that there's 2 shots on them. So what happens in a lot of cases is he's punching down one of the arms, but the other part of that arm is still traveling, and in a lot of cases they're still connecting and making impact. So even then, a light arm can be effective against heavier arms. You'll also notice...
that rush just cut off.
Yeah. You'll also notice that a lot of the arms have different elements to them. Whenever I hit with these poppers, as they're known as, they have a wind element and just knock the opponent back. The 2 arms that Stella has, one is an explosion. You'll notice it just explodes. It does lots of damage, and it's scary. And then he's also got that big purple flusher. And that's a poison. You can see I actually got poisoned there, and that's going to be a lot of chip damage that I'm going to be sustaining.
She takes tick damage for a little while, to 12 damage. And you can stack it up to 3, so if you hit 3 charged blushers, you get a stack of 3 damage per tick. And each charged blusher hit resets the timer, so you can stack up a lot of damage. Poison can't kill though. An important thing to note. Alright.
There we go.
Replicant is back now. Get back to grand finals. Fortunately,
he's back in.
Get back to game 1. Okay, cool. Right.
And we should be good to continue with our matches. So right now we are in the grand finals. Ripha actually did
bracket reset. Yep.
Had a bracket reset against Replicant, and the 2 are having a very, very intense match. If you want to see some high-level play, this is definitely a good moment for that.
Actually, addressing something that Camilla just... But actually, arms... I play both. And while you don't get all the crazy combos that Tekken has, a lot of the fundamentals are still there. Arms is very heavy. The biggest focus on Tekken Neutral is your movement, and that's very similar to arms.
Movement is a huge deal in this game.
If you're bad at movement, you just won't win. It's super important. But arms is very, very easy to get into, and its movement is very easy to learn, hard to master. There's a lot of movement mix-ups people don't realize. Okay, getting right back into it. Replicant up 1 game. Ripha did go master mommy, potentially to stop Replicant from getting a full download on his Ninjara, which was happening. We're seeing a switch back to Ninja on Buster Beach. More open stage, which I feel like was
we just had a quick break. We are back though, Froggy. Replicant has the first round of this reset, and Ripha is bringing us over to Buster Beach right now, going for a nice rush response to that grab attempt. You gotta be careful when your opponent has rush. Even if they're frozen, they just break right out of it, and they can apply so much damage.
That was a fantastic grab on Waco too. Oh, Replicant.
Rep's trying to take the L here. He's trying to take the L, so Ripha doesn't charge up as much rush. If Ripha was smart, he would have actually stepped back and did a bit of a charge dance and kind of forced Replicant to have to keep the fight going.
Right.
Which potentially could have gave Replicant a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, it was unlikely. I mean, we've seen him make a comeback or 2 against Ripha. For the most part, anytime he's put into that situation, especially with the timer running out, he's lost.
Generally.
Especially when the timer is so low. Replicant's shown that he's not very, very proficient at playing in 2-time matches. This Parabola, though, coming back out, looking very strong. I don't know. Yeah, Replicant was using Parabola earlier as well.
He was.
And I know that but I had to really search my memory banks. He's played so many arms this set so far.
Tries to get a read for that rush. He is going to end up missing it though. And Ripha sees a moment for his own, but ends up not getting the setup and misses out on his own rush. That said, still has a huge health lead, even more so with that grab. Just looking for one more hit to take Replicant down.
Yeah, he did have the confirm, but he dashed back. If you want to rush confirm, you always dash forward every time. There's no reason to do otherwise. Unless you just want your rush to drop.
Who needs rush anyways?
Rushes
Rushes
are the
are...
most important resource in the game.
They're overrated. You know what the most important resource is? Hot slaps. You gotta get them hot slaps. If you don't have hot slaps, what are you doing in this game?
I don't know. Yeah, the most important resource in the game is rush, and the next important resource is the timer, and then health, and then charge. Because charge is really important, but I mean it's less important than rush, and it's less integral to winning than rush and the timer are. You have to be really aware of the timer at all times.
What is a hot slap?
It's a nickname we have for one of the Slapamander.
Coined by yours truly. The hot slap. Yeah, it's a Slapamander. You saw Ripha going in with what's known as a Slamamander. The hot slap is basically the same thing, but fire.
So yeah, rush really is that important. If you look at any high level, like these matches here, you'll see that almost every game, every round is determined by who hits their rush first, or who has a higher damage rush,
or who punishes whose rush.
Yeah, or who gets the rush punish. When rush is online, when rush is in play, like Ripha is about to have here, you'll see the game changes. It's such a powerful tool.
Oh,
did he just disconnect? Oh.
So, I think I think he didn't have nearly as much charge as he hoped he had.
I guess not. Well, I don't know what the rules say about this kind of thing, but in other tournaments that I have ran and that others have run, this kind of thing is a round loss. So that would be 3. It would be 2-1.
We'll
right?
see how things are going right now.
Yeah.
I think it should be all right. I don't think Ripha has a problem if we just redid everything, especially since it was so early into that.
Yeah. Just playing dock.
Yeah. Undocked is really nice, though. I mean, technically,
Undocked is nice and convenient, but gotta have charge to play the game. Oh wow, the prize pool went up to $270.
Oh snap!
Defer put in $20 himself.
Oh snap! Shouts to Defer, the guy running this. He's a cool dude. As you all might already know, he has his own channel. That's not the command. That's the command. And you can check it out on that Twitch link right there. He generally runs these at tournaments. He's got another one. I've been posting a little bit. You can definitely check it there. Go support the man. He's a good dude. He does cool things. He deals with schmucks like me.
Alright, Replicant is back.
I didn't even fix the overlay.
Just
It's
gonna
fine.
run it back. And hopefully that does not impact Ripha's performance. I hope that he doesn't lose momentum for that. I mean, he was doing pretty well in that round. Why is an alarm going on? Definitely should not be. Going
Resuming.
back to the old faithful, the popper boomerang, which has been working fairly well for him in every round that he's used it.
Kurin has been very effective in this match. Pretty much all 4 arms that we see on screen have been pivotal to win so many wins.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, almost Ripha ended up switching off of Dragon and switching to Salamander against Replicant here. It has been a net loss for him.
Yeah, all of these arms just... These are the arms that these two have found that work against each other, and it's just what they keep... It's what they keep going back to, and it's what's making a lot of these rounds. Whichever one feels the need to experiment or take a step back, usually they're the one at a disadvantaged state all of a sudden.
Yeah. I mean, they're both... They all have excellent poking tools here. Like, Coolering is an excellent inhibitor, as is Dragon. Tribal is an excellent poking tool, as is Papa. Ripha ends up wasting his rush here. That could be really pivotal for Replicant if Replicant find a place to get a Popper confirm or
gets a freeze.
Ice freeze right there. That's very huge, but he can't not have enough time to do anything with it.
Right now, he definitely wants to try to just prevent Ripha from getting charge of his own.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the first round going to Ripha.
Yeah. Round 1 of Game 3 going to Ripha. Either player still has to win 2 games off of this one. Counting this one, I mean, to win the set. Starting with Rush was not that big of an advantage. Rush was close, but he is able to land part of it. Not the whole thing, not going to get very much damage, but still a pretty good play on Replicant's part.
And he is in a point now because he chose to use it. While it wasn't the greatest, he gets to throw out his Rush. And while he's taking a lot of damage here, he will charge up a little bit more Rush because he had already expended his.
Yeah, he does get the advantage of getting to make Ripha want to use his, and then getting Rush back way earlier though.
Oh, a good grab attempt on Ripha's part, but Replicant is able to slip right out of the way. Tries to go for another Rush. Ripha is going to safely dodge all of those. Nijara's shield really coming in clutch there. And now Ripha about to come up with a Rush of his own.
Now, if Rep can dodge this Rush or get away from it, he will be able to get one more Rush before the game is over. But it's looking like Ripha might not let him do that.
That's not going to be a choice.
He committed way too hard at the end of Game 3. You can't bounce double punch like that when your opponent has Rush until you see them make a commitment.
Just want to thank you all for hanging out, watching, and chilling here. I do stream on the regular. I generally stream in more North American friendly times. This is well, I have done it from this hour before. This is still relatively early for me. But yeah, if you're interested, follow this channel. As I said before, follow FellowsTV. They're also really amazing. Support us. Stylo's also got his own channel. He does his own stream and stuff.
Yeah,
If you think he's
I
cool.
stream pretty irregularly, but I do enjoy streaming this game a lot, and I do a lot of set analysis and talking about the game in the way that I am right now. So if you enjoy that, I'll put my stream.
You can also follow us on Twitter. You'll notice that we do have our Twitter thing just below us. Our Twitter
I just
handle.
put my stream in the chat. Yeah, my Twitter handle is there, and from there you can find all my social media as well.
Yes.
So this last game potentially for Replicant here, I'd like to see him be less wishy, because we see him either playing really safe or kind of committing a lot and going in to bait. But
I think a lot of it just might be the pressure of his Switch has died a couple of times now and he's needed to keep it recharged. Also, it can be a little hard to get a good read on what you need to do against Ripha.
that's true. I would just say, like, he's been putting himself into good situations and then picking Like when he bounced where he did, put himself into a good situation, and then double punched. Whereas bouncing again would have, granted, it would have opened him up just about the same. He would have had more options out of that second bounce, and if he got hit by the rush, it might not have killed him.
But yeah, there's a lot of really small details that are going into the determining the results of each of these rounds. These two are very equally matched, with just slight, just by the moment decisions here and there that are really choosing who gets the advantage.
Yeah, the switch to Twin Tail here, really pivotal for Replicant, but it also could have been a very big misplay. And his Twin Tail, his low pop was doing fantastic. His Twin Tail is still good. Has done work for him in this tournament so far. But I guess it just remains to be seen. So far, it just looked.
So far, Replicant having a bit of a lead. Ripha gonna quickly bring the health pools back to even, giving himself a slight advantage. Definitely careful to use his rush, because if Replicant was able to find a window to respond, his rush would have very handily outdid Ripha's.
Yeah, that is true. The other thing we're seeing come into play here is Replicant is using a lot of shield pairing, which is something that Lola just can't do. She just doesn't have one. So being able to do that against Dragon severely limits its usefulness.
Ripha gets another round and is one away from being able to take this tournament.
Switching back to Popper, which I feel like is good play. It's fast enough and low commitment enough that it counteracts this Tri-Blast and allows him to play the distance game just as good as Ripha.
And keeping it with the Parabola, it actually has some combo potential.
Yeah. The switch to... Ooh, it's a really good grab. The switch to Slamamander here, time he switched to Slamamander, this set he has lost. But so far, Ripha's looking like he wants to change that.
Starting off with 40 seconds in, Ripha has a light advantage. Generally doing a really good job of just pressuring. Finds a win confirm. Going to land it. And now is one hit away from taking the tournament. Connects.
And that is it.
And in the blink of an eye, Ripha wins.
Really well played from both players. I mean, the counter momentum that Replicant got at the end of the first set of grands was incredible, and we saw a lot of really smart gameplay. But Ripha in the end had the download, knew what to do to win, took him to all the right stages, and Replicant didn't counterpick properly. Took him to DNA Lab, he took him to DNA Lab again. When it didn't work out the first time, I don't know.
It could have been like he was pretty tired. I know a lot of people are really worn out right now.
Fatigue is a big thing. I'm pretty tired myself, and I've just been... So, playing 6 games of Grand Finals alone is hard. He played almost 10. I mean... It's gotta be... He's gotta be exhausted. I don't blame him.
Yeah. Everybody's gotta be kind of tired after all that. Speaking of which,
Rep. You have been on stream.
Alright. Well, at this point, I think we are going to stop at least on this end. I am going to transition over and... Well, I'm going to take a quick break. And when I get back, if anybody is interested in playing sparring in arms to any degree, you are all welcome to join me for some fun. Stylo, thank you for thank you, thumbs up for joining stream.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, I suck at English.
It's okay. My brain shut down multiple times over those turns. I had a great time, and I am going to go to bed. I'm sorry that my brain doesn't work sometimes. Some of my commentary just fell apart, but I had a great time.
I'll let you go then.
Thanks for having me.
Take care. Ciao.
Good night. Ciao. Bye-bye.
we're just gonna close that. There. Now you could just stare at my Kirby dust off. I'm sure you all are very stoked to see that. And I'll also like to thank Defer or FellowsTV for running this event. It was a cool thing. Cool fun times. It was cool. Good event. Be sure to follow him on Twitch. If you go over there, you can also find his Twitter. You can find him pretty much everywhere, his Discord community, all that stuff. I'll do one if you want to follow me on Twitter or Discord. Those are there right